So we're back.
Hello, everyone.
I know we're now on the weekly, which is a bit weird, but
yeah,
we'll have to get used to it. Really have to get used to it. So
yeah.
I'm not prepared because it is my youngest son 18th birthday today. So yeah.
Oh, happy birthday!
I can't believe I've got two children over the age of 18.
Well,
How the heck that's happened, I don't know. But you know,
I won't. It'll be another 2 years, and I'll be the same. Our oldest will be 18. So, yeah, not too far away from yourself, really.
The time just goes too quick. Too quick.
It does. It does indeed.
Absolutely. So, how are you, Kev?
Yeah, good. Yeah, just as you can see, receiving deliveries, but not actually doing much. It's been a bit of a mad week for me in terms of work, and then a few jobs have sort of cropped up, which I've sort of postponed, but I've got to get done. So tomorrow I'm going to be decorating my youngest daughter's room. So I don't know when I'm going to have time to do this. Like, I haven't done a roundup video this week, which I normally do, which is just what I've been doing. I haven't done that. Haven't done my wrestling podcast with my friend Darren. I haven't done that. I've just been busy. I've been too busy to do anything. So yeah. It's been one of them weeks.
Been there and done that. One thing I wanted to talk about straight off it. I think sometimes I call this the forgotten part work, because not many people. Well, there are quite a few people doing it, but it's not. You know what I mean, listed, and that's the progress on the Disney Doll's house.
Yes.
And the roof. Now, I saw your video that you did. Was it Wednesday?
Yeah.
And I blew the roof down, and I'm just thinking, goodness me, that is really coming together quick at the end.
Yeah. There's before we get to issue 100, the whole top of the roof, the panels are all on. The roof, the actual ceiling part of the roof is on. The front panels are on, and the sort of curve section. So we're missing the front curves. That's all on as well by issue 100. And then there's only 20 weeks left after that. And it's the base work that we're working on. And that's about it. It's near enough done.
Doesn't seem 2 minutes since that started.
It's come along really, really quickly. It's a really sturdy build. The roof section that I did was quite fun when you start getting it, but putting it all together was frustrating as hell. It's the first time you use actual screws on it to screw in the roof section.
Yeah.
But you can't get in to screw them all in without. It says to put the panels on, and then it says to screw the panels together. But you can't do that while you put the outer panels on.
Yeah.
But it was difficult, and then you have to trim the bottoms. You have to trim it so it sits flush. It was a little bit of a nightmare. Let's put it that way.
Now, how are your opinion on this one with the Disney Doll House? Because it's one thing that's going to start coming up very quickly is, do you think Hachette are going to do the extension?
Yes. Yeah, I've never known them to release something and not release something, if you know what I mean. It's part of the build itself, which has obviously come out in Japan. So I've never known them to not like, if a collection carries on, it carries on everywhere. It's not something that they would do elsewhere. So yeah, 100% they'll end up doing that. Yeah.
Because there's absolutely no notification of it at the moment.
There won't be. Normally, when they do these extensions, it's normally mentioned in the very last issue, which in this case it is. In fact, I think it's in issue 99. Issue 119. I think they tell you it's carrying on, and I think in issue 120 you get. I think what they normally do to make sure you carry on doing it is they add a little bit to it for carry on. So you sort of like, well, I've got these bits, I might as well carry on. But no, I'm not doing that. We've already decided we're not doing the extension. But yeah.
They did that with the Spitfire. Well, actually, no. To tell you the truth, in Spitfire, the diorama models weren't part of the subscription, but a lot of people finished at issue 100. But they gave you a couple of, teasers of what the diorama, even though they weren't the greatest, but yeah, a lot of people finished at issue 100 for that one. But we did get a couple of parts, just to sort of ease you into the diorama pieces. So
yeah, that's what they tend to do. They try and rope you in. Don't they? They try
it's a long extension, isn't it? It's not.
It's 80 issues. Yeah, it's a long. It's a long. I've been watching Nappy over in Japan build it.
Yeah,
I think she's up issue 160, and you do the summer. You've got a summer, sort of camper van thing, and a winter camper van thing. By issue 160, you've built them, and now you're working on extending the base. So the base that you get is extended even further, and you will also get a lot of the Christmas decorations. But what's really interesting is that you have to build it all. So you have to build like the wreaths and all the Christmas decorations and all that sort of stuff. So it's sort of more crafty. It's more craft work, which is quite good. But what I saw, like with them making the wreath, it just looked like it was pipe cleaner and then some ribbon wrapped around it. And I was thinking, you could probably do that at home yourself. I don't see any. I know you're getting more characters with it as well, but and both of the shop pieces that you get, the summer wagon and the winter wagon, they all light up as well. But yeah, it's space for us. I mean, you build the house anyway. And it's just like a summer and winter thing. And we just decided we could do our own thing like that. There's no need to do an extension with that. So we've decided we're not carrying on with that.
Yeah.
And also, by not carrying it on, it means that it opens up funds to do other builds.
Well, don't say that. That's always a dark corridor to go down to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of them that's coming, in next year it will be done, and it's whether Hachette release the extension and carry on with it. But like we said, 80 issues. It's over a year of an extension.
Yeah, almost adds. I mean, obviously we finish it in 2024. If you do the extension, it will be. I think it'd be early 2026 when you finish it.
Yeah.
So it adds, effectively nearly adds an extra 2 years onto the build already, and the build's already over 2 years already.
Yeah.
So it becomes, it effectively becomes a 4-year build. If you tally it all up, it becomes a 4-year build. It's a long time. Yeah.
It is a long time, but I just wanted to know, obviously, we do know there is an extension for the Disney Doll's House. It's just where the Hachette are going to go with it and release it in this country. Yeah,
100%. 100%. I don't, like I said, I've never seen them not release an extension somewhere else. Not only that it would cause a little bit of an uproar, wouldn't it? Because people were going, well, what happened to this extension? We've known about it. And I think how they model it as well, I think they'll just carry it on, sort of thing. So
it's just crazy that every person you kind of speak to just is like, no, I'm not doing the extension. No, I'm going to finish at issue 120, and
it's the same with the. Do you know what you're saying? The same questions that were asked about the Iron Man as well, because obviously the Iron Man came out with the damage sections.
Yeah,
and when we found out about the damage sections, there's so many emails and so many messages I got asking, is that coming to the UK? Is that? And I said, yeah, because they wouldn't not do one thing without the other. And obviously they offered it as well, but a lot of people obviously stopped at where it finished. I think it was 110.
Yeah.
But they did do the damage sections. So, yeah, they will definitely do the extension over here as well.
I actually remember the Iron Man. A lot of people were saying, yeah, it's a lot of money just to chuck it out the window and do battle damage yourself.
Mm. So, yeah. The battle damage was really interesting because it was only certain parts that were damaged. So I think a lot of it was like front panels and stuff, and it meant taking stuff that you'd already screwed on off. I don't know what I don't know why they really decided to go down like the damage route. They haven't done that with RoboCop, which they could have done easily. But yeah, I don't know why they decided to do it with the Iron Man.
I don't know. I mean, extensions are weird because obviously we got. I think one of the first ones to do it was the DeLorean, and doing the extension with the Back to the Future 3 car, which. You know, you kind of think, well, yeah, they probably maybe should have included that quite early on into the build, you know, in the 130 issues should have taken to do, but it seems that a lot of them are doing it now. So you've obviously got the Disney Dolls House, you got the Iron Man, you know, and it seems, you know, they're kind of going with that one a little bit, you know, to make it something different.
Yeah.
But I'm yet to see in this country, because we're in the UK, we're a set of we don't really like to spend money. People doing it. Yeah,
I've not seen many people. I have seen a few. I haven't seen many people take up the battle damage sections. I think a lot of people. Same with the Spitfire, like you said. I saw a few people do the extension. Most people finish these and they just want it base.
Yeah.
So. You got, like I said, you got to, like with us, the space is an issue for the Doll's House because it not only does it extends it quite a lot. I think it's by about 10, 20 centimeters longer than the actual base is already. So you'd have to find that extra space, and then money's tied up in that for an extra 80 issues. So if other things come out, you have to balance it right. And for us, it just means that those funds can be reallocated to other projects. So,
well, in theory, it's like an extra £800 just for the extension, because if you're talking $9.99 an issue, it becomes quite a bit really just to get the extension really. But
and that is if they don't do a price increase, because they could do a price increase. So that's if they don't do that. But yeah, it's like it means that we can have funds to go elsewhere to other projects if we want to. The house is effectively done anyway, so there's no need to muck about with it or anything. It's a nice little. I think it's more for people who love Disney. What I've noticed with the Doll's House is a lot of people are building this that have never done Partworks before. I've never done anything like this before, so it's a good way of getting other people that have not normally do these sorts of things into this sort of hobby. But a lot of those people are massive Disney fans, so they will naturally do the extension anyway. It'd be interesting if they do any other sort of house coming forward. We've seen a few in Japan. There was another Disney one that they did recently over there. They've started to do sort of like a dollhouse thing. They've done the Peter Rabbit.
Oh yeah,
They've done the Moomin's house, as we know. So it'd be interesting if they do another sort of Doll's House thing, because it's strange because obviously the Doll's House is a re-release, so it's an updated one that they done years ago. And since then we've had the Moomin's house, Peter Rabbit's house. There's been other houses out as well that have come out over in Japan as well. So it looks like they're catering more for those people that want that sort of build.
I think with the Doll's House, with it being Disney, it's quite hard to license. No, I can't think of it. I mean, if they're in trouble doing a Hogwarts Express, I think I can get to think the Disney license to do the Partwork build with them.
Yeah. It started life off in Japan. So the Doll's House it's a strange one. So the Doll's House is based on if you go to Disneyland Tokyo, in the lobby in Disney House Tokyo, there is a Disney house, and it has all the rooms just like but it has different rooms. So it has things like 101 Dalmatian room and all that sort of stuff. All the rooms in this doll house are different, and that's what inspired this build.
Yeah.
So it's effectively a Japanese build that has sort of filtered through, and I think going forward we may see more of those sort of builds that they do over in Japan and stuff filter over here.
Yeah.
We've had the Skyline. Now, obviously, Nissan Skyline is huge in Japan and stuff like that. But they already done the Fast and Furious build over there. They've been doing it for I think a year or so, and now we've been offered it over here. So over in Europe, hoping it's that it does migrate this way. But anything can happen. There's a lot still to come out. There's a lot still in the air. I don't think we've seen the last of test builds neither. We're still in that sort of test build season. I think we just had the last of the Ford Interceptor. I think the last issue came out on Wednesday of that. So don't be surprised if we see another test build going. Someone else has said there was they started testing the Hogwarts Castle, which is more based on kids, because it's more like a Funko Pop sort of thing, sort of style with the big bobblehead characters, and the house is quite big, but it's not for me. But if you're looking at Partworks for a kid, they would love it, especially if they're a Harry Potter fan. Yeah. But we'll see, because obviously that's been out in France already. I can't remember how many issues it is. I don't think it's a lot of issues. I think they're up to issue 80 or something, and they're near enough finished. So it's one of those really quick builds. It's all plastic. It builds the Hogwarts Castle, but it's over exaggerated, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So the rooms are smaller than the characters are. It's more of a playhouse sort of thing than a display piece.
More based at children than it is at the collectors.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right, excellent. Right, I'm going to start with some of this chat because we've absolutely had amazing amounts of chat, which is absolutely fantastic. So, first of all, I've got Ian Campbell in saying a very good evening, all. So, evening, Ian.
Evening, Ian. Hi.
And then Ian is saying, I'm not on this week, but might be next week. Yes,
okay.
Yeah, I did hear from Ian that he might be on this week, but if not, he might be on the next week because he's got a couple of ideas up his sleeve for something different.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Very, very, very interesting.
Okay.
So, right, next one is... right, is that one? I still need a reminder to remind myself that I need a reminder. I think we're all in that situation. I need a reminder earlier that I was actually even going live tonight, because it's like my youngest son's 18th and just can't remember anything at all.
Yeah.
It's like my brain has died today because I can't believe I've got two sons over the age of 18. So next we've got John from Spider Sprue saying, hello peeps, how is everyone? Hi John.
John.
And then we've got David James says evening Mark and evening folks. So evening David.
Hi David.
Right, gotta find it here. Oh, and then we've got Dave Mark Builds that says good evening Mark and Kev and everyone. Evening Dave Mark.
Hi Dave.
Then we've got John at Spider Pro says, hi Mark and Kev, how the devil are you? Knackered. Absolutely.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm half asleep. It's been like birthday weekend here and it's been crazy. And I'll be ready to go to bed tonight. That's all I can say. Even though it's my birthday tomorrow, but I think I'm just going to take the day off tomorrow and just not do anything at all, which I think I'm allowed to. I'm 43 tomorrow, so I think I deserve a day off. And then we've got Ian Campbell says evening host, so evening Ian.
Hi Ian again.
We've got Lord Peter Webster says hi Mark and Kev.
Hi Peter.
And then we've got Todd going weekly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weekly. We don't have enough time to fit everything into one slot every fortnight.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. John Spiders Bruce says my little one is 22. Oh goodness. Well, I've got a 20-year-old and I've got an 18-year-old in the house. Yeah, it's a lot of testosterone just in one house because they're both boys, and it's Julie's the only girl in the house, and she's like, oh, it's too much testosterone going around. You're the opposite, aren't you, Kev? You've got 2 daughters. So.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by girls. The 2 dogs are girls, and my wife and my 2 daughters. So yeah, I'm the only guy in the house. I'm outnumbered.
No wonder you have belts and a Terminator.
Yep.
Actually, to tell you the truth, when I first started dating Julie, and I went round to house, the dad had a massive pond in the back garden, really, really deep and massive. I was like, how the heck does your dad have the time to dig that pond out? And she was like, we're all girls. And you kind of don't get it. And then you're like, okay. No wonder you've got a big pond in your back garden. But yeah. We've got Paul Jordan that says, hi, Dave and Mark. Hi, Paul. Hope you're well.
Hi, Paul.
Right. And next, we've got DS Models of Vintage says, hi, everyone. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dave.
Paul Jordan says, my son is 21 on the 15th of October. Oh, I feel for you.
16th of October for my youngest, and she'll be 11. So I've got a few more years yet.
Time just goes too quickly. It really does.
Yeah.
Really, really. You kind of think that when you're young, you think, how can they turn around and say life is so quick and it just flashes you by? But then when you're at this,
when you have kids, it really does.
Yeah.
It really does. COVID didn't help neither, because I think we almost lost a year or 2 through that lot, and it's just mucked everything up. Everything seems more quicker nowadays, and yeah.
I don't think I'm caught up since COVID, to be perfectly honest with you.
I think a lot of people are.
I think it's still going on, to be perfectly honest with you, because we can't deliver or we can't come round because of COVID, and it's like that was 2020, not 2023.
Yeah, it's starting to creep back. That's for sure.
Yeah. We've got David Palmer that says, hi, Mark and Kevin, everyone else, Ian and David.
Hi, Dave.
And we've got Peter Webster says, I'm screwing together before tiling the roof.
Yeah, so I would.
House.
Yeah, that my advice on the end of my video, I said if I did it like the magazine showed, but going back, I would have screwed the roof in first, then placed the panels on. So,
well, like you said, Kev, it's the first time I've seen them actually use screws in.
Yeah, it's the only time as well. You don't use screws ever again. It's the only part.
Yeah,
it's all just sort of glued together.
Pete Webster says, "I'm not doing the extensions."
No.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is, it's a bit like the Iron Man, isn't it? You either want to do it or you don't want to do it. I mean, with the DeLorean, for me, you get to do the Back to the Future 3 car. For me, that's a no-brainer. I want to do the Back to the Future 3 car, even though I might only get one rail or something in an issue, and that's it. But if they just did the hood box on its own, I'd be perfectly happy at that. But yeah, don't always exist like that.
You have to get the sleepers, don't you? I think you get a sleeper in every couple of issues, don't you?
Yeah, something like that. So
I remember.
It's an extra 30 odd issues or something, and you just get a hood box and a sleeper, and you think to yourself, was that really worth it? But then you think to yourself, yeah, I've got to finish this off. I can't just leave it as it is.
It's the same. I think a lot of people are thinking about the Batman Tumbler at the moment. I think the last 10 issues we haven't had a lot in at all. We haven't had to do a lot. It's been very slow, and subscribers have just got their next 6. And once again, there's not a lot to do. It's all wires, but you're just connecting wires into wires. You're not really doing anything with it. Yeah.
Have you figured out what that ball bearing circle is on the tumbler yet?
no one still understands. I think lots of people think you're going to place the tumbler on top of it, but then a lot of people said that's. I don't think you do that because then when it goes in the display case, you won't be able to.
Yeah, I can understand that. But then I think to myself, well, once it's in a display case, how can you do any of the electronics anyway? Because if you look at something like the DeLorean or the Routemaster, you actually literally have to take off the glass lid off the display case and press the buttons just to do everything on them build. The same with the Ecto 1. You know, they don't have a remote, so you know, you are literally having to take everything off just to switch things on. So
I think that's the good thing about the Transformer is that you get the display case for that, but it actually comes with a remote, Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
So
you know what the Optimus Prime, so far, I'm extremely impressed with the amount of metal parts to plastic there is.
Yep.
At first I was like, okay, yeah, look, they'll do this for a bit, which they do on every build. You know, we'll just get a mixture of metal and plastic and they'll start going down plastic. We are on I did issue 11 the other day, and we are still getting heavy chunks of metal just in the leg. And I'm thinking to myself, this is really, really an impressive build for what you get, and it's really worth it for money wise as well. Because
it's the same with the RoboCop as well. A lot of that is all die cast as well. A lot of the outer panels.
Well, you look at them. You look at the how you do a Partworks. So you start off, you get something chunky. So you get maybe the hood of a car, or you get something quite iconic to go with the model, which you think fantastic. And then you end up putting that away for about 90 odd issues because you don't use it. And you building everything else. Now, what tends to happen around about issue 5, 6 is you start getting plastic. And you're just building plastic. I think the tumbler is the same, where you just have plastic and, the entire cockpit was plastic. And then you start getting nice chunky bits of metal just coming out of it. So they're kind of waiting for the die-hard people that are subscribed to keep with it. And then you start getting these bits and pieces. With the Optimus Prime, it has not been like that at all so far. We are on issue 11, and it has been completely shocking, in a good way, the amount of plastic we are to metal. It is amazing. And what we're getting to do, even though you look at it and go, well, it's only a couple of pages, it's still quite a lot to do. It's still a really good get your teeth in there and build something. And it's not just, right, there's a part, put it on, done for another week. So I'm really impressed with the Optimus Prime. It has been an amazing, amazing build so far. And I'm just hoping it continues like that. I don't know what, obviously you're doing it, Kev. I don't know what you're thinking of it so far.
Well, when I'm up, because obviously I had to resubscribe because I'm doing it under Fan Home now. So I've obviously got issues. I've got packs 1 and 2 here. Once I'm up to pack 3, I'll be able to we'll be able to talk about it more because we've done the first 2 packs, but I'm a little bit behind. But I'm hoping that I'll catch up with everyone. But yeah, I mean, what I've seen, I'm very impressed so far with it. It looks like that's what they're going with. They've done the same with RoboCop as well, where they've started to do the leg, and you instead of going like chest, arm, leg, like that, they've started doing leg, other leg, arm, other arm, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can cope with that. That's not a problem because not only did I do the Terminator, I did the X-Wing, so I'm used to doing things multiple times. Well, actually looking at it 4 times over because we had to do wings and engine. So I can cope with that. But it really is turning out to be a wow build. Really,
it is. Yeah, it's a really nice one. Yeah.
So I'm impressed. I think it's one that has really impressed me in the way they're doing it, and just fingers crossed it's going to continue. with it.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to read this out because this was really close to me. So, Paul Jordan says, off to Huddersfield to see genetics and biochemists. Regards, Mitch Caradriel, Disease Scientific Wednesday evening. So, been resting to take on journey. Well, you're literally a stone's throw away from me if you're traveling to Huddersfield. Just don't travel to Dewsbury because you might not make it out. So yeah, but yeah, if you're heading Huddersfield, you're literally a stone's throw away from me, because Huddersfield is my hometown. D says 80 extra. That's nearly a Partwork. Very true, D.
Yeah. We had this discussion before. I think I with Scott building with the boys.
Yeah,
he's going to do the extension, but yes, it's literally 20 issues off a full Partwork, and all you're doing is adding bits to the house you've already got. So yeah.
If you're like me and that's oh goodness me, doing the Rossi bike, the Rossi bike's like 90 odd issues. So yeah, it is, quite close to doing an entire Partwork for an extension. I think it's one of the biggest extensions I've actually seen for a build to be 80 odd issues. Yeah.
For a Partwork build up like we've seen, definitely 100%. Yeah, it's the most I've ever seen.
Yeah, but you see, you're different, IK, because I mean, where Julie's subscribed to the build, you're actually getting yours from the shops. So would that be available in the shops?
Yeah. I've when they've done sort of extensions before and stuff like that. When I'm in regards to like the Star Trek build, the Star Trek ships that I was getting. Originally, I used to get them from the newsagents, and it was planned to have 70 issues. It went past that, and they just kept getting them. So it wasn't sort of they got to where they stopped, and then it stopped. The companies will still be able to get them, so you'll still be able to get it if you get it in the newsagents. There won't be no different. You just have to make sure you tell your newsagents that you're not collecting it anymore if you're stopping at issue 110 or 20, I think it is.
That sort of reminds me of, I was about 16, 17 at the time. So you're talking a very long time. The Star Trek fact file. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I collected that, yeah.
That went on for, wow.
325 issues.
Everybody thought that was going to be maybe 100 issues for it all. But it turned out to be unbelievable. And oh goodness me.
Yeah, I've obviously years ago I did do the Star Trek fact files. I've actually got them still. And I've actually got 2 lots. The reason was because someone near me was getting rid of one, and they said if no one would pick it up, they were just going to bin it. And I was like, well, you can't do that. So I went round. So I've got 2 full sets. My original set I picked up when I was in secondary school, because that's when it started. I was in year 9 when that started. 97, 98.
All right, I'm 42, and it finished just after I finished high school. So yes, it'd be like 96, 97.
That's when it started. I'd finished secondary school and I was in college, and I was still collecting it. And I'd done my first year at college. I was still collecting it. I think it ended in 2002. No, 2000. No, I think it was early 2001. It finished.
That's a long collection. That isn't.
Yeah.
Oh, that is,
but I did do the Marvel fact file as well. I've got that upstairs as well, and that was the same. So originally, Eagle Moss said, because that was for Eagle Moss as well, they said it's only going to be 80 issues. Well, it finished at 245, and it only finished because Eagle Moss lost the license. So this is how I got into Eagle Moss. So that came out the same time as the DeLorean,
right?
And I'd already finished the DeLorean, and I was still doing the Marvel fact file, and it was continuing. It was just they kept saying, "Oh yeah, it's going." 250 came out, and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to extend it to 300." and then I think it finished at 245. And the reason is because they lost the license. And I was like, but they have Marvel stuff. They had the Marvel figurines, and they said no. It was Marvel Comics, not Marvel Studios, that they lost the license to, and it just stopped straight off. I think even in the issue, because obviously it tells you what's coming in the next issue. It tells you what's coming up in the next issue that we never got.
Oh gosh.
Because they took all the issues offline off their web shop because they lost the license and everything. Yeah, but yeah, I've still got that. And that was another one, like I say, that just carried on and on. I remember when I was collecting it, Kirsty said, "Is it just going to carry on forever? Is it ever going to stop?" And I mean, I must have 15 binders, the same as my Star Trek one. There's just loads of them. But I will say this: I own lots of Marvel books, lots of Star Trek books, but the fact files are still, for me, they're the ultimate collection. Like it dives into more than anything ever. It's probably the ultimate collect. If you're a Marvel fan, it's something you need to get because it dives into everything. All the artists, all the storyboard people, all the characters. So it does all their backstories and everything. It's just full of stuff you don't get in books.
Yeah,
it's just it's amazing. But yeah, another one that just carried on.
This next comment, actually, I'm there. Is love the look of the French first issue I saw of Darth Vader.
Yes,
is that 1:2 scale?
It is.
It looks like I'm there, and I'll give up eating if I have to just to get that.
Yeah, we've got my youngest daughter. She's massive into Star Wars at the moment. Absolutely. I don't know why. The last 2 years, she's become huge on Star Wars. And when I showed her that, she went, "I want that in my room." So I was like, "Okay, we're building that." So if that comes out over here, I'm building that. No, yeah, like you're saying, I would go without food to build that because I think that'd be amazing.
Can you imagine as well if it had a proper head, and you lifted the mask off and it had the scarf?
Yeah. Yeah, I know it comes with a remote control. The lightsaber lights up, and it does phrases as well.
Yeah, I'll stop people for that one.
Yeah.
We've got Will's Workshop says, "Good evening. Just popped in while the kids are in the bath. Evening, Will."
Hi, Will.
And then Will's saying, "What extensions are we talking about?" That will be the Disney Dolls House, Will, where you get an extra 80 issues just to season your Partwork.
Yeah, just to make it summery or Christmassy. Yeah. But they've left out Halloween, which is like a big thing in America. So I'm surprised they did that. But I don't want to give them any excuses because we know that they've extended it, but we don't know if they've extended it even further. So to include the Halloween stuff.
You know what, Kev? We have 3D printers. We'll be okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what my wife said as well. Actually, she went, "Well, now we've got a 3D printer, we don't need to do anymore." And obviously, I've created a lot of little characters for it already, so I don't need to do all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but it's all right on 3D printer. But when your kids start building a list of everything they want printing, you're like, "Gee, I'm going to burn this thing out here."
It can get carried away. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, but there's a lot of good free 3D printed files out there that
Yeah, I'm hopefully this week I'm going to actually try the first 3D print of the alien egg. So I've done a 1:2 scale alien egg, and I wanted some black filament, so I've got some black filament now. So I'm going to try it. The problem is it takes 2 days, 18 hours, and I've never done it for that long before, or that high. I've never built anything that big or that long before.
I haven't even put my 3D printer, which is a bit older than yours, through that kind of file yet.
Yeah, when you go online and you go on the forums, they said the first thing you should do is to do your test print, and to do a few other prints. But then what you want to do is you want to push it to its limit. That way you know what it can cope and what it can do. But I've never, like I said, I've never left it longer than a day to do any sort of printing. So I'm a bit cautious about it, but I think it needs to be done. So
yeah. Peter Webster says, I think I will get fed up of doing the build, doing the extension. Yeah, it kind of be a little like, I mean, I did, the Spitfire wasn't an extension. It was just the aircraft was finished at issue 80. So that was all singing and dancing, even though it's not all singing and dancing because there's that many problems with the electrics. Yeah. And then you got the diorama pieces after, but a lot of people finished with that. I went till the end. I thought, well, I can't really do a part work and not see it right till the end, so I saw it right till the end. But to be perfectly honest, what we got as diorama bits, I wouldn't really class as very accurate because they gave us figurines.
I was going to say, what ground crew?
Yeah, they gave us ground crew, which had the most freakish eyes known to man. If you compare them to the Root Master figurines, my word, if you start looking at the Spitfire ones and you wake up and you're not, fully compass mentis, oh my God, they are scary as anything. They just did not do them correct at all. And it's like, I look at them and I'm thinking, my God, if this was, any bigger, then it'd be like the Village of the Damned. I don't know if anybody remembers that film. It's like you're lighting up, going, we can read your thoughts. Absolutely. The quality was not great.
No.
So, yeah. But crazy. I did see it to the end, but it wasn't the greatest. So, John at Spider Spook says, what they should have done with Iron Man, give you the choice build with the battle damage or not with the same 100 stages. Yeah, that's a fair pound.
Yeah. I think they do the extensions to keep you on board, and to give you the option, I think, as well. So some people might want it battle damage, but you don't, and I think it's good to have that option if you want it.
It's a bit like the LaFerrari, isn't it? They give you either the choice of the black one or the red one.
Yeah.
Even the black one limited edition.
Yeah, it was limited edition, and it was the problem with that was it was more money. So it was black, it was limited edition. I think most people wanted the red. I was for me that was a bit of a like, why have they chosen black? Because Ferraris are traditionally red or yellow, because Ferraris were originally yellow. So I was really surprised that they went with the black.
Yeah, I was the same. I was thinking it would be nice if it was a yellow like the Miura. Miura, but crazy. But it's a good build. But at least you can choose which color you want to go for, which style.
So it gives us options, doesn't it? I'm surprised. I'll be surprised if they don't do some sort of option with Optimus Prime. I know they're giving us quite a few. I know he's going to have his 2 knives, 2 blaster guns as well. See, they might even decide to do a damaged head or something on that. It's not out the realms of possibility. So,
Will's Workshop says, as Mark knows, I worked out I'm saving £200 on not doing the DeLorean Railway and rail wheels. So, yeah, it is a lot of money. I'm like, my favourite car was the Back to the Future 3 car. So for me, it's a no-brainer to continue doing it. But
I remember because I'm old school, so I did the DeLorean when it first came out in the newsagents. And I remember when it finished, it was issue 100. I think did it finish at issue 100?
No, it was 130, and then they extend it for another 30 issues. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those first ones that came out that pushed the 100 issue mark. But yeah, I remember getting the last issue when we completed it with some bits to do the extension section. I never did that. I think I also missed out on the Paloma case as well.
Right.
Because I think that was in the very, very last issue. So after you built the hood thing, I think you get a case, don't you?
Right.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I remember there was a yellow case that you built with the cylinders in, and I never got that.
Remember, this was back when Eagle Moss was around, so it could have been anything.
Yeah, it was back when it was in the newsagents. You know, everything was like fine and dandy in the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a long time ago now. And mine, to be fair, mine has stood up really. You know, the engine bands have fallen off because they corroded. I remember us getting like around issue 110 extra bands for the engine bands.
Yeah.
Because the other ones corroded. And it was like there was no way of getting them in there. The engine was in the car. There was a reactor on top of it. It was like no way it's getting in.
If I remember correctly, I mean, I've got it on mine because they don't supply the bands anymore. And I've got it on mine. They were loose. They was really not the best fit at all. And really, really loose. But yeah, I can understand trying to fit them on. But now, I was watching World of Wayne, and he was doing his DeLorean, and they have now finally exchanged the automatic gearbox
for a manual
gearbox of DeLorean. They've done that, but they haven't changed the instructions.
Yeah.
So the instructions are still the steps to do an automatic gearbox, but they've supplied a manual gearbox in the parts.
I mean, it does show you that these companies do listen when there is a problem. Because I didn't think it was a big problem, but a lot of people really got up a big stink about it, and they changed it.
Yeah.
So you know, it's worth noting that these companies do listen when we want something changed. I mean, they did do it with the sticker on the door for the Ecto.
Oh, not Stickergate.
Stickergate, yeah. That was an own goal by Eagle Moss, because in their promotional material it said in big black letters, no decals and no stickers, in big black letters. And then when they supplied that part, it was a big sticker.
Yeah, but
it was a huge own goal.
In issue 133, you still get decals that you got to put on, because I did them the day, because I did all my recordings for this week, and you still got water slide decals you had to put on the model.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I do remember when it first came out in the cardboard that we got, and it said in the pullout. It's in the pullout. I think if you get the pullout that you had in the original issue 1,
yeah,
it says it big black letters, no stickers.
Yeah, I had that pull out because it was the actual size of the car when you got it, so you could always reference it. But yeah, it does say no decal.
Well, the same thing happened with RoboCop, and I will say this as well, is on the very first issue of RoboCop. Now, I did get the French version originally, and you got it from news. It does say die-cast, right? And the bit that says die-cast piece is pointing at the gun. Yet when the gun gets supplied, it's plastic. But they have listened, because in the very last issue, issue 100, you do get another gun which is die cast.
I'm going to say, if not, we're going to have to send Ian down doing the die cast.
Yeah, for some reason they supplied 2 guns. One of them's plastic and one of them is die cast, but you don't get the die cast one until the end of the build. So you do get 2 guns with RoboCop. He doesn't have 2 guns, but you get 2 guns anyway.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We've got Burgess in, says, evening y'all, sorry for being late. That's okay, Burgess.
That's okay. Hi, Burgess.
And Ian says, 43, you youngster, don't feel it. And then Peter says, happy birthday for tomorrow, Mark. Thank you, Peter.
You're the same age as my wife, and I'm only 40, and look how white I am. Look.
I've got none of that at all. I don't even have any lines on my forehead. And people, when they say, "How old are you?" I'm 40 odd. Really? Like, yeah, I'm not a youngster. I'm 40 odd. No. It's like some weird reason that I aged very well.
I started getting white hair, when I was in my 20s. So yeah, I don't know why. I suppose though they do say if you have white hair, it doesn't fall out. So I won't go bald, but I've got white hair. So
yeah,
that's what they say. Anyway.
Peter says my youngest is 19 girl and eldest lad 36. Blimey heck.
Jesus, that's an age gap.
Ian says my youngest is 19, eldest 30. Blimey heck.
That's the same, nearly. There's Peter there.
And then Ian says, me being 54 next Sunday.
Ooh.
Oh, if he's on next week, we'll have to totally embarrass him.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah. Burgess says, I'm on the approach to 35. No kids, only cats. You know what? I could just cope with cats. You know?
I'm a dog person myself. We've had cats in the past, but I'm a dog person.
Well, I mean, we have a dog and we have a cat, but the dog takes quite a lot of attention. The cat doesn't, even though it can really harm you if it really wants to.
Yeah, the cat is. When we had a cat, we had 2 cats, and they're quite self-sufficient. They used to come in when they want to. It's like a DOS house. It was this. They used to just come in when they want to. They'd disappear for a day and come in. It's like, where have they been all day?
Yeah, and they cry at you, feed me, you haven't fed me, I'm here now, I want food. And it's like, well, where have you been for the last how many days?
It's like, with our dogs, I can open the front door, they don't run away. If I said to the dogs, run away, they don't. They just don't. And it's really, to get them to run, I have to throw a ball, because otherwise they just walk beside me. I'm not even got a lead on you. Why aren't you running off somewhere? No. They all just need me.
We've got Spruan Glue says hi all. Hi Dave, hope you're okay.
Hi
Dave. Will says 39 on the 19th of October, 3 kids, 7 and 5 twins. Hospital had to buy one, get one free. He's got twin girls, so I really do feel for him. David Palmer says that 44, no kids, just a missus and a mini sausage dog.
A Dachshund. I love it, old Dachshunds.
Ian says, not planning on doing any extensions to builds. Those companies have made enough already. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, fair dues.
That's fair.
I can see that. I mean, when you're doing the Disney Dolls house and you get to issue 120, that's 1,200 something on a Partwork model. So
the thing is with these Partworks, the thing that I can't understand when they do the extensions is they would have had to know about doing the extensions before the build comes out, because in order to manufacture the molding, the toolings and all that, they would have had to know beforehand.
Yeah.
Why don't they just come out and say, like, there's going to be an extension, it's optional. So at least you know, because I think sometimes when they do the extensions, they come out of the blue and you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Why are we doing extra more? Why are we doing more extra and all of this?
Yeah. But I mean, when I look at the DeLorean, I really want to do that extension. I'm just hoping they don't do it with the Optimus Prime. But what can you really extend on that apart from doing the 2nd generation and putting on extra parts?
It would be damaged parts if they did it. That's what I'm saying. They could do damaged arm sections and head and that to represent what he was like in the final battle. I don't know. I thought they might have done an extension for RoboCop and they never did. So
yeah.
because they could have included battle damage, but they could have included a jetpack as well.
Yeah.
For Robocop 3, but yeah.
Crazy. John's Model Making says, evening all. Evening, John. Hope
Hi,
you're
John.
okay. I'm just trying to get through this. Right, so D says, Mark, if Vader's helmet can be removed, a face could be possible. Look at Robocop's face upgrade. Yes,
Yeah.
I've actually seen that. Well, we had Ian on last week, didn't we? When he was showing the Robocop face all painted. Amazing work. But my question is, issue 1 and it's already got a mod.
Well, we know it's got a mod because obviously people in France have finished. That's the only way. Because we didn't know what the face was going to be. There was a lot of speculation that it was going to be a full face. People thought it was just going to be half a face, which is in with what Hot Toys do with theirs. It's only half the bottom of the face. So it's the same thing. Now we know what the finished article looks like. We've been able to go, oh, actually, we can do a full face. And that's where Ian's come along and gone, yeah, cool.
There's a slight problem there, okay, with the Darth Vader. Do you put a Hayden Christian face in there, or do you put a David Prowse face in there?
Interesting. Options.
Do you put the eyebrows in there, or do you not put the eyebrows in there? That would have clearly been singed off and never.
Well, or do you put a very young, pizza-faced Anakin Skywalker in there?
Yeah. It's just like I never get over that in Return of the Jedi they had the big bushy eyebrows, but everything else was melted.
Yeah.
The eyebrows would have been one of the first to go. Yeah,
and then you had the third movie, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, weren't it?
Yeah.
And that's where he goes into the suit, but you see him getting the suit put on him and the head coming on. You could get that sort of look, maybe. I don't know. Give people the option, I would say. But yeah, I don't know if it will come with a face. I think a lot of times with a lot of these faces, it's one of the reasons why you didn't get a full face with the RoboCop. And obviously, I was saying that for a while, and that's because you'd need 2 licenses to do that. Just like with the Batman figurine, the reason it's only half the face that you can see. If you take off the mask off of Batman, his face is all in bits and doesn't look like Christian Bale, because they would have to get a separate license. So you'd have to get a license to do the Batman, but then you would also have a license to get Christian Bale's likeness. The same with Pete Weller as well. So the reason we only got half his mouth is because they would have had to license to get the full head. So they would have had to probably pay out more money, probably twice as much money, in getting the license for his likeness.
Yeah.
So that's where that problem comes into it. But obviously we've got some modders who are very good at making stuff like that. So, options, like I said, options.
Peter Webster says, I think I made the right decision getting you and the family a 3D printer, Kev.
Oh, yeah, definitely. 100%. Yeah, we've used it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've made a lot of... We all wear digital watches, so I've made digital watch stands. I've made loads of logo bits and that. I love sticking them around the place, and I've made some things for friends as well. So, yes, it's all going good.
Ian says, 3D printers are great. Anyone wanting to start with a FDM filament and then move to resin. I agree. That's how I started. I started with a filament and moved to resin.
I'm liking what I'm doing now. I mean, it's it has, like I said, I have it's a real good learning curve. So I've had hit and misses with a lot of the stuff. I've had prints fail as well. It's tweaking it and moving it on the build plate and all that sort of stuff. It's really interesting. I like it. Sort of just trying to tweak it and move forward a lot. So
It's a massive learning curve with 3D
Yeah.
printing.
Yes, I still haven't got my head around designing. I still need a lot. I still need a massive help on designing stuff, but printing stuff, yeah, I think I've got most of it down. Like I said, I still have print fails. I mean, I had one. I was printing a Star Trek phaser.
Oh yeah.
And for some reason, it has supports just here, and for some reason, the supports decided it didn't want to be there anymore and fell.
Oh.
So this is all sort of just smooth now, but this was just a bundle of. It looked like an afro on top. It was just wriggles all over the place.
Yeah.
Where the support had fallen and the filament just kept printing onto nothing, and it just went everywhere.
There, done that, got the t-shirt.
Yep.
T-shirt. Crafty Chris says, I won't be doing the extension. That's in regards to the Disney's Doll's House. Yeah, I think 80 issues is a very long commitment for an extension.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ian says, guys, don't know about anyone else, but I'm constantly adjusting my volume depending on who is speaking.
Oh,
right. It could be.
Can you hear me all right? Who is it? Me I'm talking to?
I don't know.
Do I need to come closer? Do I need to come closer? Is it me?
It could be me. I've been having problems with microphones lately.
Oh right, okay.
Right, let me just position that because it's kind of come off and it's gone down there. Okay, so yeah, that could be me. I'll have a look at that, Ian. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get caught up here because we've gone through quite a lot. So John's Model Making says, those not so cute kids, Mark. No, they don't stay like that. Not at all. Also, the bedrooms don't stay nice and fresh smelling either. It absolutely stinks of body odor and goodness knows what that's festering somewhere.
I remember being a teenager, so
yeah,
I'll give him a little bit of leeway with that.
D says Ian Mark sound a bit low. Kev Crystal, yeah, I'm gonna have a look into that. Why it's been an absolute pain. Ian says, has the Lancaster been released anywhere yet?
No, that is the. Yeah, I think it's it's normally the Boxing Day release. So you normally get a release on the Wednesday after Christmas, which I think it's Boxing Day or the day after. That's when that will come out. But we'll know about it a week or two before because that's when the website goes live. But what I've been told is that is the Christmas release.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Burgess says Ferrari does other colours than red or yellow.
They do. But traditionally, they're the two big colours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people associate with Ferrari with.
Yeah. If you know Ferrari, originally Ferrari is yellow. It's their that's what a Ferrari should be. It should be yellow. And then they done a publicity where it was red and it took off. So red and yellow is their go-to colours.
Yeah.
But obviously you can have it any colour you like, but yeah, red and yellow is their brand colours, isn't it? So
yeah. Paul Jordan asks, what is your favourite Partwork build since you started? That's to both of you guys. I'll give you that one first of all, Jeff.
I've done some really good work. Millennium Falcon was a really good build. That was solid. I've got to say that was a solid build. Yeah, I would say the Route Master, that was another solid build. But no build has been perfect. I've never come across a build where I've not encountered a problem or something's happened to it. It's all the builds have their problems, but I would say Millennium Falcon was a good one. R2D2 as well. That's another solid build. But yeah, my favourite, I would say, is possibly the Route Master. I've got to say, it's one of those really quirky ones that came out really well.
Mine has to be the Millennium Falcon. I think you wanted one as a kid. The toyish one was just not great. And then we finally got that one as an adult. And it still does all the singing and dancing that the toy one did.
Yeah.
So for me, it would be my Millennium Falcon. It's the first ever Partwork I did, and still my favourite to this day. So,
yeah, it's a solid build. That is.
Yeah.
It's sort of, I don't want to say it because I sound old, but they don't make them like that anymore.
No.
They don't make them like they used to, I should say. Because that one was a proper solid build that actually worked. There was, like I said, there was problems with it, just like with any other build, like the ramp, the little bits on the ramp that come down. So you had 2 bits that come down. They were a nightmare to get in and to set. They were a nightmare to work. But once you get there, it's fine. I found the panels were really good to go in. The little gibble bits, the little detail bits within the recesses, they worked really well. So putting them on, they were really satisfying to do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love mine.
If you're saying the worst build I've ever done, it's got to be the DeLorean, because
I'm enjoying the DeLorean because I'm doing mine after the hype, as they would call it. So I'm doing mine after it's all come out, but
you've also had like a year or 2 where you haven't done it, so you've sort of, it's getting back into it. It's nice, but yeah, the problems. So getting the engine in, that was a nightmare, and then the door hinges. The door hinges were really bad. Then you had the EL wire. Everyone replaced the electrical wire around it with the EL wire, but I didn't, and that was a nightmare to do as well. And then getting the reactor on the back and putting all the little plugs on, that was also a nightmare. I don't want to put anybody off, but it was a bit of a nightmare to do. It's a good build at the end.
Mine has to be the Rossi. Mine at the moment is a Rossi. That is just a nightmare to put together. You just don't know what's going to break next.
Yeah.
So Will says, for the DeLorean, the plutonium box was 130. I've just done it. Excellent.
Yeah, if I remember rightly, the build stopped at 129. You completed the car, 129. Then you got the Paloma case, and you had the extras for the add-on. And I didn't do the add-on, so I think that's why I didn't get it. I didn't get.
Will also says you'll never see the engine again anyway. No, very true.
No.
Peter Wilson says, I've just been trying to think who I watched building the plutonium.
Plutonium. Yeah, plutonium. I keep saying planium. It's plutonium. It's my mistake.
You can get the correct stickers from Partwork Upgrades. Smiley face.
Yep.
Definitely. Right. I'm just trying to catch up because we've gone over an hour again.
Yeah.
Even doing this every week. Ian says, Mark, you must be using Just for Men. Laughing.
Yeah.
I don't have grey hairs. It's just one of them things. I'm just trying to capture. Oh, goodness me. They're all talking about glitching. And we got TJ, a work in progress, in saying, LOL, if my dog didn't have a lead, I'd never see him again. Oh, that's the thing with the cat and dogs.
Yeah. No, my dogs, they go training once a week, or they used to when they were younger. So yeah, for some reason we can walk them off lead. They're very well behaved.
Yeah.
Not if you come round here though. If you came round here, they'll just bring you stuff. One of them will just keep bringing you stuff, and the other one will just want to sit on you. So
yeah.
So
what did you work in progress? Says hello all. Todd, I think, has got the right balance here. No kids, more models. I wish.
Yeah. It's a space to put them all in, Todd.
Yeah, definitely. We've got Scott in from Building with the Boys saying evening all. Evening, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
Just trying to catch up. Oh my word. Ian says, I'm going to look at the jetpack for Robo 3, Kev.
Cool. It's definitely something that people would want. I know that.
Yeah. And
but you'd have to do the arm as well. You'd have to do the rocket launcher arm as well.
Ian says options noted.
Yeah.
D says maybe both faces swap out. That's with the Robocop.
Yeah.
We got Lee in saying hi, Mark and Kev. Hi, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
I think I'm nearly caught up here. I think.
Cool.
And Peter says, I'll sort out the upgrades for you soon, Kev, when I remember where they are. That must be for your 3D printer.
Thank you very, very much for that, Peter. Thank you.
Ian says, Mark is very quiet. Kev, you are loud.
It's not the first time I've been told I've been too loud. It's normally after a few drinks.
I'm going to say. Somebody new on my channel that I've not seen before in a live show, but you've got Chris Collection saying hello.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. So, welcome.
All the way from France?
Oh, no. I do watch him, actually. It's just amazing stuff. Ian says the phrase, they don't build them like they used to, extends to so many things.
It does indeed, Ian. It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Cars, mainly.
And then Ian also says, Rossi is a superb build, so fragile, though. Yeah, don't I know it.
Yeah, and Ian should know it as well. Didn't Ian's take a bit of a tumble?
Yes. Peter also says, I'm dreading looking at my Rossi build as I fell over it getting into the living room. Oh, no.
No.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
No.
Oh, dear. Will's Workshop says, surprised the DeLorean hasn't given you grey hairs. I'm sure it has the Doc Brown effect.
Yeah.
It's one build I really enjoyed from day one. And it's one, yes, we had the thing where we didn't know if it was carrying on, but I've really enjoyed it. You know, it's just really one of them things that I've just taken and just, yeah, really, really enjoyed it. Peter says, I still need to figure out the sound mod in Rossi build yet, Ian.
Oh. Where is am I still on here?
That was my bad.
What happened there?
I pressed the back button. I pressed the back button on the gaming mouse.
Oh. Okay. I was like,
my bad.
I'm here on my own. What do I do?
My bad. Peter says, I have the BL2 Micro Swiss Hotel upgrade, silent stepper, main board, and other bits. Oh, that's for the 3D printer, I think.
Cool, nice one. Thank you.
Todd says, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
TJ Working Perk says 19 watching, 13 likes. Put your likes up, people.
Come on.
And then D says Mark done a runner.
I know, he just went and I was like, what's going what?
You know when you've got these gaming mouses.
Yeah, Mark was like, I'm out.
I did it and I was like, oh. And Todd says Mark was like, I'm out, LOL.
Yep.
Yeah. Didn't mean to be. I honestly didn't mean to be like that. It's just, yeah. Oh well.
Off you go.
Right, well, we've done an hour and 20 minutes nearly. Wow.
Yeah.
For another week. Amazing.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for your fantastic chat tonight. It's been interesting seeing what you all think to things. And, yeah, I think the hot topic tonight has been extensions on Partworks. Do you do them or don't you do them? You know, and what people do think about the extensions on Partworks. For me, yeah, I don't know. The only extension I can see is the DeLorean for me, but for Julie would be the Disney Doll's House. And she says she wants to do the extension, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, that's I think that's done. So yeah. Peter says, I look forward to this chat. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
Will's Workshop says, mic drop. Good night, all.
Yeah.
D says, excellent show, gents. See you next time.
D.
Work in Progress says, thanks for the company. Take care, all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Spider Spruce says, night, all. Enjoy your birthday, Mark. I will do. Thank you. D says, night, all in chat. And Todd says, you should have to opt in to extensions, special issues, not the other way around. Yeah. Well,
and Eagle Moss originally was about, that's what it was. You had the option to do the extension or to get the specials, but how the system works for other companies, they can't do that. So yeah.
Dave McBill says, have a great birthday tomorrow, Mark. Thank you, Dave Mac. I will try. And Pete Worcester says, night all. So thank you, everybody, tonight. Thank you, Kev, for coming.
Yeah. Thank you so much for commenting.
Yeah, been a really interesting show for us. Now we're doing this weekly because we just can't fit it into a fortnight.
All in.
It's just too much, especially what's going on at the moment. So, yeah. So, I've been Mark.
I've been Kev.
And we'll catch you all on the next Partwork live show. Good night, all.
See you later.